How do you take care of your voice? Because you are a tenor. Your voice honestly sounds better than ever. Like I listened to a recent live stream you did, and I can see the difference between you, at the pizzeria versus you now at the live streams. Um, how do you take care of your voice? Daily habits, warm ups, exercises, methods. How are you taking care of your voice these days? Because that is the like essential asset to your work. Anybody could play. You could if your hands got chopped off tomorrow, you could find someone to play guitar for you. But if you lost your voice, you're done. So I think a lot of people are very curious about how you take care of your voice.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's like, if you ask anybody close to me, I'm always like, um, I'm always the boy who cried wolf when it comes to my voice. I'm like, oh, my voice feels like crap tonight. Oh, it's gonna be a bad night. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a rough gig. Like I'm always that guy, I'm just like, I'm always making excuses before I sing, and then I find a way to kind of push through it most of the time. There are some nights where I'll be like, see, I told you. But like, as long as I'm reasonably healthy, I'm not too worried about it. But like, if I'm battling a cold, like I just went to Brazil in the UK in April, and like on my way back from Brazil, I started getting a cold. It's like the whole time I was in the UK, I'm singing through a cold, and I'm just like, ah. But yeah, so there was like a balance of like you have to have, there's definitely some cold medicine involved. Um, like I don't know how graphic you want me to get here, but like you don't want a lot of drainage because then that's going to irritate your throat, right? So like if you take a decongestant, then you're kind of saving your throat. And I do something that not a lot of people do, but I think it works. I think it's smart. Is I'll take ibuprofen. Like if my voice, like if I wake up with a little bit of a sore throat, I'll take ibuprofen because I'm like, hey, anti-inflammatory. What could go wrong? It's like I'm like, and that's kind of the approach I take, and I think it helps. I really think it helps. And so if I can keep my throat from being too inflamed, then I'm worried about like, well, okay, what's my tone going to feel like? Like, what am I projecting through nasally? And so that's where also the decongestant comes in. And if I have like anything resembling a cough, I'll take a cough suppressant because like, coughing hurts your throat, irritates it. But the decongestant thing, you kind of have, there's a fine line because you can dry yourself out. You don't want to take too much decongestant because then you're like, you feel like you're singing through sandpaper, like your just voice is so dry. And that's kind of how I view my voice is like, I need it to feel lubricated. And so like, I have traditions that other people are like, what? Like, yeah, so like take this all with a grain of salt, world, because I have no idea if like this may be actually horrible advice that I've just like survived through, putting myself through, or it could be great. I don't know. But like I'll eat something greasy before I sing. I love eating something greasy before I sing because I feel like I'm greasing the wheels. Like it gives me like this reservoir of yeah, of like anti-dryness in my throat, like that I can sing through. And this is the and that I mean, if that isn't weird enough, like and including dairy, like I'll eat pizza. Like I ate it, I sang at a pizzeria for years. I'll eat freaking dairy. I don't care. Yeah, and your face, you're like,
That just
like
goes
what?
against
It's
that
like
just
shut up,
goes
Mike.
against everything I've ever heard.
I know. That's why I'm saying this has either worked for me or it hasn't, and I've survived through it. But the other thing I do is like sitting here. This is a little plug for Zevia, but like I'll drink like it doesn't have to be caffeinated, but I'll drink some kind of like carbonated soft drink like throughout the night. Yeah, like and it like again, it's the syrup. It just kind of coats my throat a little bit and makes me feel like I'm not singing through sandpaper. And because if I'm just like get through a couple of rough songs and my voice is feeling really dry on stage, if I drink some water, I'll be like, okay, that happened, but it doesn't change anything for me. It's just like okay, I had some water, because like the truth is about hydrating. Hydrating doesn't work during a set. It's too late. You have to hydrate early in the day. If you're going to be singing at night, you better be drinking water like at 8, 9, 10 in the morning and be drinking a lot of it, because it takes a while for your body to be like, okay, now I'm hydrated. So that's something like, yeah, like if I'm drinking water, I'm like, I'm not trying to get hydrated on stage. I'm like, I'm just dealing with the symptoms at that point. I'm not trying to cure anything. I'm just like, I need something to lubricate. And so that's what I've always done. And yeah, it's certainly like when you're singing with carbonation, you're gonna have some bubbles coming back up. But I've just learned to deal with that over the years. I just kind of it's like it's the same thing with like swallowing. This is a weird thing to say, but like, do other singers swallow? Because I never swallow. Like in the middle of a song, I'll just never swallow because I'm just like I don't have time. And like when you swallow, it like resets everything. I'm like, no, I know where everything is. I don't want to mess with anything. I don't swallow. I don't know if I've ever said that out loud before, but it's true. Like I just don't swallow during my songs, and I need to swallow. Like maybe I have a cough drop or something, and like everything's a little bit too, like I need to swallow this or something. Like it's hard for me to find a time. Like okay, now it's safe to swallow. Like but like cause you can't do it between phrases. It's just like it's you have to. It's too weird. I don't know.
Wow. So much to go through with
You're like that was a lot.
that. Okay, I'm afraid to ask this question, but like, how much pizza are we talking about? Like before, like
How
no,
much pizza? Like a meal.
like
I'm not
I
like
mean,
yeah. I'm not like I need two large.
yeah.
No, no. I'll just eat like a couple slices. I'm just like I'll eat dinner.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm not gonna go crazy. But and the other thing is like I don't ever eat after a show, which is also weird. A lot of musicians,
Yeah.
I know, a lot of musicians like I'm so hungry. I'm just like no, like after a show, I'm just like ooh, I'm gonna lose weight if I don't eat now. I'm like I'm not. I'm just gonna wake up. And, I'm gonna go to bed hungry. Yeah, it's just like that's one of my other things. I never eat after a show.
Well, I have to eat after a show because I hate myself after a show. Usually, I have to bury. It's either that or some other. Yeah,
Emotional
yeah,
eating.
absolutely. I'm trying to work on it, but
Right.
okay. I mean, okay. So obviously, there's a lot of good stuff there. I think the ibuprofen thing checks out because that's like you said, it's anti-inflammatory. I see it though because I get it.
that one, that one checks out.
Oh,
The rest, we'll just put that aside.
well, oh, I'm just saying, man. I've done years of
I hear
vocal
you.
training. I've never heard anybody be like, "Yeah, you know what you
Uh,
should do,
I,
Pavarotti? You should have a
a pizza and some
yeah,
cola,
yeah, a pizza,
some
a doc,
carbonation,
a
some
Dr
dairy.
Pepper, a milkshake, and a couple slices of pizza. You you
You're
got it,
set.
Pavarotti. you know, uh,
To each
that's
his
right.
own.
That's right. What about warming up?
So, um, for years, I didn't really have much of a warm up, and I don't know. I've always kind of felt like this is kind of a weird thing, but I always felt like because my sets are really long. When I do a gig, it's usually like 3 hours. Okay, and I'll maybe take a 15-minute break, but I don't always even take a break, especially if it's a private gig. Sometimes I'll just plow right through. I'm just gonna play. And so like I would sometimes view my voice as like a limited resource. I'm like like if I spend too much of my voice warming up, I'm not gonna have enough to finish the show. I know that sounds stupid and counterproductive, but that's kind of like a fear I've had in the back of my mind that's kept me from doing extensive warm ups. I'm like, I don't want to waste this voice on warming up. I want to use it in the show. And so, but what I did was about 5 years ago, I felt like there had been some tension creeping back into my voice, and so I did a Per Bristow's program. Per Bristow is the Sing with Freedom program,
Is
the
is that
singing zone
is that the
on
guy that has
Facebook.
all the ads? He posts ads like all the time. I think he's like
Is it?
Dutch or
Yeah,
German.
and you'll see me in some of those
Really?
ads too, because I'm a customer. I'm a satisfied customer of Per Bristow. Yeah, and we've actually met, and he came to my gig in Amsterdam and stuff. And yeah, I went to one of his seminars in New York, and so some of the Per Bristow stuff really helped me to kind of relax. Like I had to relax my face and relax my jaw. And like he kind of demonstrates to you, like in some of his warm ups, like he makes you sing something really high, and he's like, guess what? The high note you just sang had nothing to do with your jaw, your tongue, your mouth, your anything. It's just like it was just kind of basically it was just some good reminders for me that like the best success range wise and longevity wise and endurance wise is just relaxation. You just can't have any tension in your voice because it kills your range. It kills yeah. You can't sing all night if you're tense. You just can't. And so I still like have like when I'm doing something like Africa or Stairway to Heaven, like the big finish of Stairway to Heaven, something that's high and loud at the end. I'm thinking about Per Bristow, and I'm thinking about just kind of pushing through that and just letting it go and not trying to control it here, not trying to like because that's the thing. Like as a singer, you try to control everything vocally. You're like you try to clamp down on things. You try to get rid of all the variables. You're like you don't want your voice to do anything it's not supposed to do at any given moment. So you're like I'm going to let my voice. I'm only going to give my voice this much room to operate in because I'm trying to control it. And that's just like that's the way I would visualize what happens to me with the tension. And then I have to like shut all that out and just like it's kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let go, Luke. Let go. Use the force. And so you just kind of have to let go and just let it happen and just like have faith that Your voice is going to find the right pitch, and it's going to find the right energy, and it's going to just sail through, and and you just got to let it do it. And so that was kind of what doing Per Bristow's program kind of helped me remind myself of, because I was a voice major in college. I had voice lessons from like great opera singers who knew their stuff, but so I just had I think being a cover artist, sometimes you pick up other people's bad habits too. Like when you're trying to sound like somebody, maybe you're getting there in the same way they did, but maybe it wasn't a healthy thing that they did either. And so like it's a double-edged sword when you're trying to like imitate somebody's technique. I'm like, well, maybe they didn't have great technique all the time. That's not true of some of the greats, but obviously, but like, I that's just something I think about sometimes. I'm just like, well, I can sound like that, but should I? So anyway,
So the is it Per Bristow? So
Per Bristow,
so
yeah,
that
PER,
gets your
Per.
unequivocal like this is good and worthwhile.
Yeah, yeah, and he has like, I mean, and it's like 100 and something, like maybe $120 or $100 for like his Sing with Freedom program. That's the first thing I did. It's like 4 episodes or something, and he has a money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you, you can just tell him, and he's fine with it. So